Alright guys, so we have done in previous videos the two top drawers here and the two top drawers here in my dresser. The next ones are this drawer here and that drawer over here. These are my eyeshadow drawers. So we're going to go ahead and pull you in a little bit closer to the drawer over here. Actually, I think we're going to start with the drawer on the right hand side and then move over to this drawer over here. So we will zoom you in and start with this drawer right here. Alright everybody, so this is my right hand drawer of eyeshadows. And I do have to say that of all of the things that I have purchased makeup wise, eyeshadows has been the one that I have really enjoyed probably the most. I mean, I think it would be obvious it's got a lot of color. And it just, you know, I don't know. I just like eyeshadow. So what we're going to do is we will go ahead and I think I'm going to actually start in the back corner back here with all the palettes that are back here. I'm just going to grab a handful of them out and then I'll grab the second handful of them and we will go through these. So the one in the back is my Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Palette. This is the original one. I actually haven't used this yet, so I bought it and it's been in my drawer. I've heard really good things about it, but I haven't used this yet. The next one I have in here is from Smashbox. It is, what's the name of this one? This is the Photo Matte Eyes. It has just a lot of matte eyeshadows. It's very pretty. I have actually used this in a video. Then moving on is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar. I do enjoy this one. I've actually used this on a couple of different videos and the smell is very nice. Then I have the Too Faced Sweet Peach Palette. Again, I love these colors. They're very, very pretty. I've used this in a couple of videos as well. And sorry if I'm going a little bit fast. I just want to be able to get through everything and not have this video be really, really long. Alright, the next palette in here is the It Naturally Pretty palette, It Cosmetics. I've used this in at least one video, but these ones are a little bit softer of a eyeshadow. They're a little bit more, takes a little bit more time to build those up, but it is a pretty palette. The next one I have is one of the first palettes that I purchased, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. This is just a beautiful palette. I don't know that I have to really say much about this. Just about everybody who's ever tried this palette likes it. Okay, next I have one that I have not tried yet. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette. You can see the plastic still in here, and so is the brush. I took it out of the box, but I haven't actually tried this one yet. This I feel is really super pretty. I'm really liking the gold and green here, and then this color here. That I'm definitely going to have to use very, very soon. And then the final palette in this last box is this. It's the Too Faced Love palette. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of glare. But there it is. It's a bunch of different shadows. I actually picked this up in a TJ Maxx, but I like it because I think it's got a lot of different potential for different looks. So have not used that yet. I've played with it, put my fingers in it, but I haven't actually used it for any videos or any looks yet. Over here on the side I have tucked in, because it is a very thin, slim palette, is the Lorac Pro #1. The very first one. I do like this palette. I think it's got a lot of nice colors. It's got the one row of mattes and then the one row of shimmers. And I do like that palette. And then I'm going to move into this front box here, I think. This has a lot of my smaller palettes in it. I will start from the back and work to the front. So I have this one here from Tarte, Don't Quit Your Daydream. It's just a really nice size for travel. It's got a lot of nice neutral colors that you can use. Just a nice size to take with you if you're going somewhere. Then I have the Mauve Obsessions from Huda Beauty. I did just do a video review of this, first impressions, I'm sorry, of this really recently here. It's got some really gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful colors in it. I really like reds, and I'm not sure why I still have the sleeve on. Next, I have this little quad from Hikari. I got this in a beauty box, a Look Fantastic box to be specific, and I do think this is really pretty. I keep meaning to take this into work and just leaving it in there, and I just haven't done that yet. I've got two little palettes here from BH Cosmetics. These were actually, I think they were free gifts when I bought the Carly Bible palette. That's in here somewhere, but I haven't really used these too much. BH Cosmetics eyeshadows I find are a little bit difficult to work with. Alright, next I have a little palette here from Pacifica, which I did get in a beauty box. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad palette. Don't know why that's still in there actually, because it's just a pain in the butt, but I did use this. You can see there's some brush marks in some of the shadows here. It wasn't a bad palette, it just wasn't the easiest to work with. And then I have a little Wet n Wild palette here that has little brushes in it as well, but a little 3-piece Wet n Wild palette that I picked up for, I believe, the one brand Wet n Wild look that I did. And then the last 4 in the front here is the first one here is the Naked, I'm going to put those there, the Naked Cosmetics. This is the 3-pan palette that we got in a BoxyCharm a couple months back. Then I have this one here from Sephora. I have actually not used this one yet, but I did like the colors in this, so I haven't used that yet. I keep intending to do a one brand Sephora, Sephora look with that. I then have my little Viseart Petite Pro palette. I've used this a couple of times. John and I actually went up to Niagara Falls for our anniversary this year, and sorry, I'm getting the mirror. This is the palette that I decided to take with me to celebrate our anniversary. I do really like this palette. Probably don't use it often enough. I should probably be using it more. Alright, and then the last little palette in the front here is just a tiny Lorac Pro. It's just got 3 in it. I think I got this in an actual Lorac gift box, actually, a gift pack. Alright, tucked in here I have 2 little ones from Clinique. These were free gifts with purchase. It's just 3 little shades there. And then this one also, it just has a little bit different of color to it. So I have those 2 little Clinique. Alright, right up here in front I have a Deuce eyeshadow quad. This I got in the Allure beauty box. When you first order Allure, they do send you this little 4-piece palette, and then quarterly you do get another shade to go in here. So I'll show you in one of my other magnetic palettes. I actually have more of these. And then moving over here, I have this Blink Electric Eyes palette. I got this in a BoxyCharm. These are absolutely beautiful shades. Beautiful, beautiful eyeshadows. Then I have the Catrice Absolute Rose. This was another beauty box palette that I received, and I did use that in a video as well. And then this one I bought, I have not used it yet. This is a Pixi by Petra Mesmerizing Mineral palette. I just like the shades in it. I thought they were pretty. So I have not used that yet. This is actually all matte. Yes, it's all matte. This is the Sunset Mattes palette. So I did like them. I thought they were pretty. Alright. Okay, moving on. I have a Milani palette that I picked up. I don't think it's even open yet. Nope, that's not open yet. So it's just a Milani eyeshadow palette that I picked up, ordered from Target at one point. So I will give that a try. I do have a little Ulta Beauty palette here with 6 shades in it. Doesn't look like I've touched this one. I've gotten some others as free gifts, and I have tried other of the Ulta Beauty. Actually, this one's probably the one I'm thinking of. It doesn't look like I tried that one either. One of these Ulta palettes I've tried, but it's just a six pan Ulta palette. Then I have this one from Lorac. This one I have not tried yet. I did order this actually off of Outlook. I don't know. I thought it was pretty, so I picked that one up. Okay, the next one I have is from Flower Beauty. This is the Cool Natural palette. I did use this in my flower video that is still to come. I filmed it, I just haven't posted it yet. So I have this one, which is the Cool Naturals, and then tucked in here I have the Warm Naturals palette. They are very similar. There's actually some shades that cross over the two palettes. So I don't think you need both, but they're nice little palettes. All right, I'm going to move over here before I move back to my single shadows. This is my Tarte Rainforest. This is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Volume 2. I did get this in a BoxyCharm. It does have some nice neutral palettes, neutral shades, and I've done a couple of looks with this. I actually do like this, and I have traveled with this one before. Over here I have the Too Faced Totally Cute palette. Just some really neat colors in this one. Picked that actually up at TJ Maxx. This one is a recent edition. I just got this in my limited edition glossy box that I showed in the early part of December. So that is a recent edition. And then let's just move backwards here. I have this NYX Cosmic Metals. I did just buy this. I actually haven't opened it yet, but that is a new addition to my collection. And then I have this Tarte one that I got in my BoxyCharm limited edition. So then I have, this is actually a Z palette that I got in BoxyCharm. So there are the two other Deuce shadows that I said I had. I got this Peak one in a beauty box, and then I've also gotten these. These are all Makeup Geek shadows that I've received in beauty boxes before as well. Okay, over here I have a BH Cosmetics palette. This is the Cool Marble, I believe. Yeah, the Cool Stone in the Marble collection. This one I wasn't real happy with. I get a lot of fallout with this palette, as I do with actually several of the BH Cosmetics palettes. This is the Bubs Beauty BH Cosmetics palette. Actually, I do like this one. It's fairly inexpensive. That's the one thing I can say about BH Cosmetics, is the price point is really good. So even though you get quite a bit of fallout with their shadows, the price point is actually really good. But of all of my BH Cosmetics shadows, this one is probably my most favorite. But this is not, I have not yet tried anything from BH Cosmetics that I've absolutely loved. This is my NYX Wicked Dreams palette. Got Things Falling. This is actually the first palette I bought back last year on Black Friday, when I did my Black Friday shopping as the kickoff for my channel. This is the palette I bought, and honestly I've only actually used it I think twice. So I don't know. It's not bad, I just haven't used it. This one is the Audacity in Paris. This is a Lancome. This was a purchase that I did at the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty this fall. I have not used this yet. So this is my first Lancome shadow purchase, and I just haven't used this one yet. Okay, and the last one in this box is the Around the World palette from Cargo Cosmetics. It does have a little brush in it, and this was not a palette that I liked. I got this in one of my beauty boxes, I can't remember which one, but the shadows are all really not very pigmented, like at all. You try to build up the color, and you just don't really get much on these shadows. So I think I've only used this once. I never reached for it. It's not a very good palette in my opinion, and because of that, I actually have not purchased any other Cargo Cosmetics shadows. So, okay. All right, on the side over here, I have a couple of palettes tucked in. I have three from Kat Von D. I have the Kat Von D Quad in Plum, which are those shades. I have not used them yet. I have the Kat Von D Eye Quad in Smoke. There are those shades. I have not used that one yet. And then I also have the Kat Von D Quad in Rust. This one is the one I have used. I purchased this one first because I liked the reds, but I have used this one and I liked it, so I bought the other ones. Then I have this I just purchased here recently. This is the Stila Written in the Stars. This is 3 of the liquid glitters. I have not opened this yet, and actually I haven't tried it yet either. Alright, tucked in back here are all of my single shadows and a couple of other palettes that I can't fit anywhere else. This is the Winky Lux palette I just got in my BoxyCharm in November. There are those. Some people really like this palette. I struggled with it a little bit, but it's not a bad palette overall. I have this Makeup Geek magnetic palette that I bought. I don't have anything in it just yet, but I did buy this actually on Outlook. Back here, tucked in the very back corner, is a NYX glitter primer or glitter glue. I have not actually used that yet. And then in here are all of my single shadows. I got this from Vendome. It is a single shadow that I got in one of my beauty boxes. And then this is a shadow that I got in one of my beauty boxes. It's Mellow is the brand. I have this little baked shadow from Laura Geller. I have this wee little tiny Bahama Mama. This is actually a bronzer, but I put it in with my shadows because there's no way I'm fitting a bronzer brush in that pan. So that's in here. This is a similar one. This is a Coastal Scents. Well, actually, this is eyeshadow. This is a 2-piece eyeshadow sampler from Coastal Scents. Just have a single Wet n Wild. This is in the color, oh, I forget what color this was. It's basically just the white one. It's a plain white shadow. I do have a full size of the Stila Liquid Metal Diamond Dust. I have 3 CYO individual pans, a shimmer, a metallic, and a matte. I used all of these in my CYO video. I have a couple of Stila individual pans that I picked up at TJ Maxx. This is an individual shadow as well. I got this in a Look Fantastic box here recently. I think it was either October or November. I have my MAC paint pot. You've seen that in several of my videos. I have a couple of stick shadows. This one from Dirty Little Secret in the color Gold Plated. It is just a crayon. And then I have these 3, which I have not actually even opened yet, from Mally. And they are a purple, a pink, and then a lavender shade. So I have those. I haven't tried those yet. I bought those actually because Emily Noel said that they were really good. So I picked those up. These ones here, you can kind of sort of see them. Whoops. I got these from Outlook. They are 4-piece eyeshadow, loose eyeshadows from, I think it's Terry Marie. I might be saying that wrong. So just so you can see the brand, that's the brand. It is a vegan makeup company, and I found this on Outlook. So that's actually a flat foundation that I bought, but I bought these eyeshadow quads as well. They came with brush kits, so yeah, they're just, I've got a bunch of different colors. There was like a pinky set, and then the other one is a smoky set. Actually, I think I might have gotten a couple of these mixed up, but yeah. So that is all of my loose shadows. Go ahead and get everything put back, and then I will move on to the other drawer. Okay, so this is my left-hand palette, and these are some of my more expensive palettes, but then I also have some drugstore palettes over here. They're pretty much just the ones that haven't fit in that one, and I started out in the right-hand drawer, and then I moved into this drawer as that one filled up. So these are just loose palettes. So I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to start in the back corner, move across, and then come down and over. So this is a mix of drugstore and high-end. Here I have the Kat Von D Alchemist palette. I haven't used this yet. I bought it, but I haven't used it. I thought it was really pretty. Actually, I went into Sephora and one of the sales associates there had this on her lips, and I was really impressed with that, so I decided to buy it. This is the Pure Soiree Diaries. I got this in a BoxyCharm. This is probably my favorite palette that I got in a BoxyCharm, believe it or not. I've gotten the most use out of it. Pretty much I just go down the lines and use the shadows that way. I have traveled with this. I actually went to DC in October and I took this with me, and this was the only eyeshadow palette I took with me. And I did a different look every day. So I really do like this palette a lot. Here's my Carly Bible palette. I actually have the original one, not her newer version with the highlighters in it. I'm sorry, with the more shadows and all the other stuff. This one I was not really thrilled with. This was my first experience with BH Cosmetics, and I found it to be very powdery and not easy to work with. So I don't reach for this very often. In fact, I think I've only used it twice. This is another palette that I bought because of it being a YouTuber, and I was very disappointed in it. This is the Graveyard Girl palette. First of all, it came broken. I don't know if the camera can pick that up or not, but that shadow there is broken. It came broken. I bought this right from the Tarte website, and honestly, I didn't want to have to deal with returning it. That's one of the reasons why I do stick with Ulta and Sephora, because I can walk in store and return those. But this I was not really pleased with. I had a hard time with it blending. I couldn't get it to blend. I had a lot of fallout. This palette I just really wasn't very pleased with at all. Yeah. This is a huge palette. I actually bought it Christmas time last year when I was first getting my channel started. This is from e.l.f. and it has all of these eyeshadows, but then it also has a whole nother pan of blushes and bronzers and even a matte highlighter over here. So I thought I was getting a really good deal, which I really was, but I really just don't reach for it. So I don't like to get palettes this big, because it does overwhelm me a little bit, and I'll show you one in a minute here where I don't know that it has the same number of colors. Let's see. So this has 40 shadows in it, and the other one I think has 36 shadows in it, but that one doesn't overwhelm me as much as this one does. This one just, for some reason, I look at it and I just see too much. Alright, moving on to the next row, I have this Urban Decay Smoked palette. I actually picked this up at Ulta. It was like 70% off, was a special one day, and I decided I had to have it, so I went in store and picked this up. I have used this only a handful of times. They are very dark shades, and actually when I tried to do my first smoky look, I used this palette and it was a total failure, so I just don't reach for it very often. I do have my Urban Decay Naked. This is actually still in the box. I have not taken it out of the box because I haven't used it yet. So this is just the Naked 1 palette. I honestly bought this because of Jam Beauty 89. Then I also have the Naked Urban Decay Smoky. This is one that I picked up. It was on sale, so I picked it up at Ulta, I believe. So I decided to get it. I think this might have been my first Naked palette. Next in this stack here, this is a new one. I just got it in my last haul. You saw this. This is a Stila Matte Shadows. I have not gotten a chance to try this yet, so I don't have much to say about that one. I did go a little crazy and I bought 4 of these Makeup Forever palettes. These are the Artist palettes that Sephora sells. I have not used any of them yet, but I went ahead and bought them all. That's, I believe, the neutrals. I don't think it says on here what they are. It's just 1 through 4. That's the neutrals. That's the editorial one, I believe they call it. That is the petals. So it's kind of like flower colors, I guess. And then this one is the mattes. I think all the other 3 are shimmers, and then this is the only matte. So I went ahead and picked up all 4 because they were on sale at Sephora. I did pick this up in my haul recently. I have not yet tried it. It is the Viseart Golden Hour palette. If I can get it open. There we go. I have not tried it yet. I think it is a beautiful palette, but I have not tried it yet. So this one's a little bit different. You actually take the plastic, the plastic's attached because the plastic is what has the color names on it, and you fold it back. You can take it off, but I have not done that yet because I haven't used it yet. So very, very pretty packaging, very pretty palette. Another Viseart palette that I have, this is the editorial edition. It's just all of the really bright colors. I've only used this a couple of times. I really do like that. Have my Tartist Pro palette. I've used this a couple times. I do like it. I don't know what to say about it. It smells really nice, but I do like it. The Pure Love Yourself E2. I have used this only a handful of times, actually probably less than a handful, only like 2 times. I wasn't really fond with how these blended out. They weren't bad, I just didn't feel like they were great. So I just don't reach for it actually very often. I had this Ulta palette from, that was a collab with Melissa Michelle. I actually did really like this palette. I thought this was a really nice palette. I thought the colors were really pretty, and I thought the shadows went on nicely. I really didn't have anything bad to say about this palette at all. I actually really, really enjoyed it. Over here, this is a splurge. I actually bought this for myself for Christmas. This is the Viseart Grande Pro Volume 1. This actually released at Beautylish. And when it went into Beautylish, Beautylish has this deal that you can buy something and then pay for it over 3 months if it's over $100. So that's what made me go ahead and purchase this, because I could spread the payments out over 3 months. And this is a fairly expensive palette if you are not familiar with it. It's all mattes. It's just absolutely beautiful. When I first saw it on Stephanie Nicole's channel, I just really, really wanted to get my hands on it. And it was being sold at Muse Beauty, and I just couldn't justify it as a one-time purchase. So I was really pleased when it came to Beautylish, and you could spread the payments out over multiple months. So this was my Christmas gift to myself. Moving on, I have the Tarte, what do they call this? The Play Clay, or Clay Play. I haven't tried this yet. I actually bought it because of Nakia Joy. She said she absolutely loved this. She did an entire face look using just this. And I was really impressed by that. And I purchased it. And unfortunately, I bought it with a 25% off coupon. And now it's on sale for like $25. So, can't win them all, I guess. I've got the Lorac Mega Pro 4. I bought this because Emily Noel just raves about this. I actually saw her Emily Awards here, and this was one of her top eyeshadow palettes. I don't know if I got a different formula than her, but I get a lot of fallout with this palette. I really struggle with this palette a lot. I think it's beautiful. The colors in it are just absolutely gorgeous. Like I did a look today and I used this butterscotch, and this actually turned out okay, but like I tried to use Fairy Tale and it was all over my face. And then I tried to use Peacock and that was all over my face. So I don't know. I know Lorac shadows are a little more on the powdery side, but I just really struggle with this palette a lot. This is a new one for me. I have not opened it yet. Actually, it's still in the box. This is the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Beauty Killer palette. I'll go ahead and pull it out just to show it to you. So these are all the colors. I actually bought this. There was a Black Friday sale on Beautylish. I think I mentioned that in my lipstick drawer video. And this was one of the purchases that I bought. I thought the colors were really pretty. So I've never tried any Jeffree Star Cosmetics before, and I wanted to give it a try. I guess it's kind of ironic that I have it right on top of my favorite Kat Von D palette. This is the Saint and Sinner palette. If you haven't seen it, I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Some people have been saying that they really don't know what to do with it because of the layout of all the colors. I have not had that problem. The couple of times that I have used this, I've had no problems coming up with a look. I think the shadows are gorgeous, and I don't have a problem with that at all. So I guess it's all in what you see when you see the different colors. So, and then here's one of my favorite palettes of the year, believe it or not, is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. This is the only Morphe palette that I own. No, I take that back. I own one other Morphe palette I got off of Outlook. But this is the only one that I've used, and I love this palette. I think it works well. I think it blends well. The colors are pretty. This is the one I was referring to that had 36 shades in it that don't confuse me. I don't know if the color layout on this one just works better for my eyes than the NYX one or the e.l.f. one did, but I love this palette. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. If you have the money and you are interested, I would recommend going ahead and getting this, especially if you get like a 20% off coupon. I know some people have said that some of the colors are kind of redundant, like these two here and like these couple here are kind of similar and these ones over here are kind of similar, and I don't disagree with that. I think you could have swapped out some of these colors for some other colors, but the colors that are here, the shadows that are here, I have no problems with. They work really well for me. And I did get this when it came to Ulta, so I have the shiny packaging that apparently is not as easy to get dirty. So, okay. Alright, we are almost done. This is a new purchase for me. I got the Naked Ultimate Basics palette. I literally just got this in the mail today, the day that I am filming this. It was on sale, and I picked it up. So I have not tried it yet, but I decided why not. The Tartelette in Bloom palette, this is actually a newer purchase for me as well, but I have had this and I have used it a couple of times, and I really, really enjoy this palette. I didn't want to buy it because of all the hype around it. Everybody always says it's the best Tarte palette out there, and I didn't buy it, and now that I buy it, I totally understand it is worthy of what people say about it. So I picked up this Makeup Geek palette on Outlook. It's just a nude palette. Honestly, I haven't really tried it yet. I've stuck my finger in it, but I really haven't done much with it other than that. Here's the Morphe palette that I said that I picked up on Outlook as well. Again, I think I might have touched it. Maybe not. I don't know. Just neutral palette that I picked up. I figured I'd give it a try. I actually purchased this before I purchased the Jaclyn Hill palette, but I really do like the Jaclyn Hill palette. And then this is the Real Her Be Your Own Kind of Beauty. I've tried this a couple of times. Got this in a BoxyCharm, I believe. I'm not particularly super fond of it, but it's not a horrible palette either. I just don't really reach for it because I have so many other palettes that I've been using lately. Okay, and finally, over here, let's start with the one on the bottom. This is the Pixi It's Judy Time palette. I actually really like this palette. I've only used it once or twice, but I've had no problems with it blending. I think it blends really, really well. I think the colors work really well together. I really enjoy this palette. I would definitely recommend it. It's not super expensive. I think it's in the $20, $25 range, and if you have any sort of coupons or anything, I would definitely recommend picking it up. The last couple are NYX. This is the Perfect Filter. This is a Jam Beauty purchase. She showed this on her channel, and I really, really like it. I really was drawn to this color right here, this red color with the greens. I think that's really pretty. I've only used that once, but it's not a bad palette. And then these four palettes I picked up, I have not used any of them yet. They are the In Your Element palettes from NYX. I have Earth, Air, Wind, and Metal. And that's Metal. That one is Wind. Yes. That one is Air. And this one is Earth. So those are the four NYX palettes I picked up here recently as well. So that is all of my eyeshadows. I know this was a super long video. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, eyeshadows are the thing that I do really just get drawn to. I just keep buying them because they're so pretty. And I know a lot of you probably can sympathize with that. So anyhow, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up down below. If you haven't already and you would like to be, please hit the red subscribe button. And leave me any comments in the comment section down below as well. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Are there any palettes that I've said today that I haven't tried yet that you would definitely recommend me picking up in the very near future because they're really that good? Are there any that I've said that didn't work for me that you have any recommendations for something I can do to maybe make them work a little bit better? I would love recommendations. So I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time on Epic Beauty Fail. Bye!